All right, good evening. We'll go ahead and call our work session to order. Our first item of business are some employee recognitions, and we'll welcome Chief Seiler up to the
Good
podium.
evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners.
Hello.
I'd like to introduce you to one of the fire department's newest full-time members and our latest promotion. Our firefighter actually started work in December, but due to my medical condition, I kind of forgot to bring him up and introduce him to you guys. So first is firefighter Derek Dye. Firefighter Dye grew up between Florida and Tennessee. He started his fire service career as a volunteer in 2013 with Saudi Daisy, where he still volunteers today. He applied for an open position with us in November of 2024, and we hired him in December 2024. He has a wife named Katie and 3 beautiful girls. Got a house.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here. Next up is Captain Corey Johnson. Captain Johnson grew up in the fire service as his dad was a member of the Red Bank Fire Department when Corey was born. Captain Johnson began his fire service career as a volunteer with Saudi Daisy in 2004. In 2013, he was hired full-time by Saudi Daisy. In January of 2018, he left Saudi Daisy to come to work for Red Bank full-time. He was promoted to lieutenant in August of 2021, and on April the 13th of this year, he was promoted to the rank of captain in our BFD. Captain Johnson is married to Chastity, and they have a son.
Amazing. Congratulations on the promotion. All right, we'll go on to item 2. Approve the city's tax relief match subject to annual budgetary availability, resolution number 25-1831. Ms. Perry and Ms. Pickle.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
So we're presenting tonight the resolution to approve the standard operating procedure for providing tax relief for the citizens of Red Bank that actually qualify for it. So we had first heard about this whenever we had a meeting in the trustee's office, sometime maybe January or February of 2025. And the idea was floated that, maybe we could also offer this program. So we worked on it, and we had further meetings with the clerks that actually work in the trustee's office for the tax relief portion of that job that they do there. And so we got some further clarification on what we should do and how we should further operate this program. At first we had presented it, I believe it was May 20th, as matching the county's portion, but it's been determined subsequently after meeting with the experts that we should match the state's portion. So that's what we intend to do, is to match the state's portion 100%. Red Bank does not determine eligibility for the program, and citizens need to apply at the state level, and then Hamilton County will oversee that whole process and let people know whenever they have been accepted into the program. They are going to be managing the program for Red Bank within the standard operation of things that they're already doing, actually. So it's not anything extra that they would be doing on our behalf. Then they will be giving that information to us, and then we will be sending the payments directly to the citizens. So we had first presented this as a reduction in revenue, but we determined that it actually would be an expense. So it's not just like a discount. It's actually us repaying after people have already paid their taxes. So we didn't understand that until we had the meeting with the experts. So we hope to become experts, but we're not at this point. So I think that we're the first city in Hamilton County to do this. So we're kind of the front runners. None of us have done it before either. So, we're just all banding together and trying to get it right. But anyway, we're really proud to be able to offer this program. And then we had put together, mostly Tracy had put together the SOP that is attached. And it just goes over the qualifications, goes over the qualifications for eligibility. But it just goes over the process, basically, of how it's going to work. And it states again that Red Bank does not approve people. They have to go through the state and through the county. So I think that the county's website for tax relief actually has the link to the state. So that way they can apply for it there. And then they will coordinate with the citizens. And then our portion comes in after they have already paid their taxes. So instead of being a discount, it's a refund for them. But we just set forth these procedures going forward. We'll have an annual review of this. The city manager or his designee will look at this, and then it'll be audited once a year as well to be sure that we're doing everything that we need to do and all the citizens have been helped in any way that they can be.
Thank you. Are the expected expenditure to be about the same?
It will actually be less because at first we had calculated those figures based on the county's portion.
Okay,
And so when we determined that it would be the state's portion, then it's roughly half of what it was before what it had been.
But we both know
estimated.
until they
Right.
actually send
Because-
out the tax bills.
Right, the
Right.
tax bills have not been sent out yet. It's anytime now, but they haven't been sent out yet, so we won't know what our whole tax roll is until we get that information.
and then you guys will cut the checks on a monthly basis, and then at the end of the year, we'll do a budget amendment for the total amount.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Any other questions?
But just a little
Before-
clarification, the resident will pay the tax.
Mhm.
And then at the end of the year, we'll send them the refund check or,
No, we will send them a refund check after we receive notification from the trustee's office that they have paid their tax.
okay.
As Hamilton County clears the register and they get to a zero balance with them, then they're gonna send that person's information to us and how much their red bank tax is.
Okay.
And then we'll reimburse them.
Okay, thank you.
Seems a little backwards. Like if we're offering a relief to people that cannot pay their tax bill.
Right,
we're
they have-
expecting
but they
them
have
pay
to
their tax
wait.
bill, and then
Mhm.
I trust that the process is as intended, but it seems a little counterintuitive.
I think that is what our understanding was, is that it would work the opposite of what it's actually going to work like. We thought that it would be a discount, and that is the
Right.
reason that we presented it as a just less revenue.
Right,
And keep in mind, this is the first time doing this, so.
right.
Right.
It may work out totally different, we're not sure, but that's what we think is gonna happen.
No critique implied. It's just an observation.
Right,
It seems a
at
little
this
funny.
point, that is, what they suggested that we move forward with, and, we talked to, of course, the resource and the staff, and decided that, okay, we will go forward with this. That we will go forward with this and review it as necessary.
Do you have any questions, Bethany?
So on the screen here, it says we budgeted just under $26,000, but you said it might work out to be about half of that. So we budgeted 26,000 in revenue reduction, but what we're likely going to see is around $13,000 in expenditure.
Yes.
Okay.
Compared to what last year's tax, red bank tax was, yes, it's around 13.5, but.
It could
again,
change,
Yeah, it just depends on where it rests this year.
And the income base is set by the state of Tennessee. Do we know how often that's reconsidered? Because that seems really
Every
low.
year.
It
Each year.
is? And they at least adjust for inflation or something each year?
That's what we understand, is that it's a different number every year.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Stokes?
It might be important to add in that this is only for the property tax and not for the stormwater or garbage,
Sanitation.
the other fees that are collected by the trustee.
Okay.
And that may need to be a point reiterated as the program is underway with our residents and that sort of thing, because I think people tend to lump those together.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So we probably need to make sure that when we send the letter with those payments,
Mhm.
that we do reiterate. That's a good.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. All right, any other questions at this time? Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 3, approve purchase of fire hose from Tennessee Fire Equipment in the amount of $27,220, resolution number 25-1832. Chief Sagler.
Good evening again.
Good evening.
Back in 2022, the fire department began evaluating fire hose for the process of replacing our entire allotment of hose at the fire department. As most of it was 20 years old and some of it older, and the process is 20-year-old hose has to be replaced. So we set out to do this over multiple years as budget constraints allowed, and to make it easier for future generations to replace the fire hose and not have to borrow monies. As we know, when you borrow money, you have added cost. The department selected Mercedes Textiles Limited Kraken fire hose for our 1 3/4 and 2.5 inch hose. There are 2 items that make this hose stand out among the field that we think make a great value for the citizens of Red Bank and the safety of the Red Bank firefighters. And that is the way out coupling. What they have is a coupling with reflective arrows on it pointing away from the fire. So if you get lost in a dark smoke-filled atmosphere and for some reason you get disoriented, if you find that coupling, that you've got that reflective arrow along with the knowledge of which way the couplings are facing, it tells you how to get back to the fire pump and away from the fire. So that was one of the things. And they are the only manufacturer that manufactures those couplings. And their warranty, they have a 210 AO warranty. It means a 2-year unlimited bumper to bumper warranty, we'll call it. If we drag it through a fire and burn a hole in it, they'll replace that section hose for the first 2 years. So that was the reason we chose this hose, was for the warranty and the way out couplings. It's a safety thing. We would like to purchase from Tennessee Fire Equipment, as Mercedes Textiles has a dealer network established with geographical territories, and we fall within the territory of Tennessee Fire Equipment. So it makes it kind of a sole source bid. And I have a letter attached, it's in your packet from Mercedes that says you can only buy it from Tennessee Fire Equipment. And the cost is $27,220. Now, we bought this much hose from them 3 years ago, and the cost has gone up a little bit. Because I didn't have to bring it before you for the last time I bought it, because it was less than $25,000. Actually, I did, but it was less than $25,000. I think it's about $23,000. So fire hose keeps going up. As long as it's got fire, the price keeps going up. So we'd like to purchase the 4,000 feet hose.
What color will it be?
Yellow with the red stripes on it, just like what we already have.
Because I saw the different colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we kind of stuck with yellow with the red stripes. Stands out on the back of the truck and looks pretty. Especially when you've got all that red and yellow chevroning on the back of the truck. It kind of matches that.
Where are we in the span of like replacing all of the fire hose that was 20+ years old?
Next year, we need to replace another 2,000 foot of 5 inch. And then in the next budget year, we'll need to do this again with this hose and we're done.
For now.
For now, for 20
Forever.
years.
Okay.
For 20 years after.
Give or take.
Next year's budget and then the year after that, then we're good for 20 years for fire.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. Thank you, Chief. Any other questions for Chief on this item? Okay, if not, we'll move on to item 4, approved purchase of Stryker powered stair chair utilizing Sourcewell for a cost not to exceed $16,481. Resolution number 25-1833. Chief?
In April of this year, I received a formal request from the membership outlining the needs for a powered stair chair to assist with the safe and effective movement of patients within the residential structures in our city. This request was initiated due to recurring challenges faced by the fire crews when transporting patients up and down staircases, whether they were inside or outside. Currently, our engine companies in Red Bank operate with 2 persons. This limited staffing creates significant physical demands when manually lifting and carrying patients on stairs, especially when dealing with bariatric patients or individuals with limited mobility. So this is the types of calls where they get home from the doctor's office, but they can't get up their stairs, or they're inside and can't get down their stairs, or they've fallen and they need help getting up. So that this would help with the stair movement of those patients. The situations not only pose a risk to the safety of the patient, but also greatly increase the likelihood of injuries to our personnel. Such injuries can be debilitating, career-ending, and result in extended leave, workers' comp claims, or even long-term disability. So this will help save backs. It's the biggest issue. A powered stair chair provides a mechanicalized solution that significantly reduces the physical strain on responders. It allows for safer patient movement with minimal lifting, even in challenging stairway environments. The chair's design improves operational efficiency, enhances patient comfort, and most importantly, protects the health and longevity of our personnel. Recognizing the operational and safety benefits, I submitted a budget request to the budget for the chair for FY '26. Their request was reviewed and approved. The acquisition of this chair is an essential investment in both responder safety and patient care. So we'd like to purchase one stair chair.
Excellent. Thank you, Chief. So it will live at one station and then
Yes, it will live on the rescue truck, and so
Okay.
If they get there and find out that they need it, then the rescue truck can respond. It's
Okay.
staff daily,
perfect.
because that's the only truck that we have placed.
Okay.
I say I'm sure it takes up some space.
Yeah, and it's battery operated,
It's made
right?
battery operated, comes with a battery in it, a spare battery and a charger.
Wonderful. This is great news for everybody.
How soon is the,
That, I don't know.
delivery?
The last I heard, it may be a couple of months. It was all the stuff that we order tends to take a little while to get. Because I ordered some valves right after July 1st and they rolled in over the weekend, so it was almost 2 months.
Okay.
Good, wonderful. Any other questions?
Was there or wasn't there an injury from someone dealing with a situation like
Yes,
this?
ma'am, there was. At least it wasn't severe. It wasn't too severe.
Mm-hmm.
I think he missed 2 days of work.
Mm-hmm.
But you're carrying patients, you can throw out a back and that's the end of your career.
Yeah.
Right, and we don't want our shifts to be down.
Nope.
So, all right, glad we are going to be able to move forward with this. Thank you, Chief. Moving on to item number 5, authorized purchase of pedestrian crosswalk safety lighting from TAPCO, resolution number 25-1834. Director Tate.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
In 2016, the Commission approved a grant funding opportunity from TDOT to build 5 pedestrian islands along Dayton Boulevard. The money for the construction was actually approved in 2018, and they were built shortly thereafter. They were built at the time according to TDOT requirements, which consisted of the round shape with a cross through that you see now, and then it included some additional vegetation to kind of dress it up. At the time, the commission then did not feel that it was sufficient and wanted to do more. So over the course of time from 2018, the Public Works Department painted the curb with traffic yellow fluorescent paint, put up some bollards, or not bollards, the collapsible reflective
Knockdown.
things on the corner of the knockdowns that common word everybody probably realizes.
Candlesticks.
Candlesticks,
Delineator.
delineator posts. That was
We got there.
yes. So we put up delineator posts. That wasn't enough, and everybody agreed there had to be something more to do. So then we installed the warning signs that says yield to pedestrian state law. That was not really required, but we put those up, and then we just over the course of time tried to keep it maintained. They still got run over, run through, and partially destroyed. Then in 2021, we added the rectangular rapid flashing beacons, which are there at each entrance on the sidewalks with a push button. And when you activate either side, they all come on at the same time. But then prior to that, I also worked with EPB to have additional lighting put up. Now, it may not appear that there's like anything spectacular there, but most of those crosswalks did not have a light on them. Now, there were some that had a pole there that it just worked out just great. We put lights on both sides. There were some, the poles were offset, so I had EPB angle the lights or turn the lights. You'll drive down and you'll think, well, they put that up crooked, but it's to direct it toward the crosswalk. But we did the best we could to light all of the crosswalks without having to set another pole in the sidewalk. Use what we had there. So now we've come to 2025, and then one of the commission goals is safer transportation alternatives and measures. And so I had Nate work on finding, if Tracy can pull that up, I had Nate work on finding this edition here, and he also did some research in the MUTCD. And these will be activated along with the rectangular rapid flashing beacon. So when they walk up and they push the button, these will all activate at the same time, but they'll be about 150 feet in advance of the crosswalk. And they're 12-inch diameter beacons. They alternate flashing. And then he's got some additional signage that we're going to put up there, reflective signage that we're going to put up in addition to that. And they're roughly
about $7,000 to set up. So that is the basis of this resolution. Pending your approval, we will have those installed, and they will be, right now, my plan is to have the public works team installed because they're really simple. They're plug and play. And we'll have the public works team install that. And if not, then we have some contractors that we can call in to help.
Thank you, Director. Are we expecting to be able to get them pretty quickly?
They said once they get our order, they said 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, that's great timing for time change that's coming up, since it'll be
Yes.
darker sooner.
Yes.
So we can maybe hope to have them up before the Christmas parade.
Hopefully, if we can get them in 4 to 6 weeks, we'll make that a priority.
Excellent. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Very excited about this. Thank you, Director Tate. Moving on to item 6, accept the Arts Build Communities Grant in an amount not to exceed $2,500, resolution number 25-1835. Director Slade.
Good evening. So before I get started, normally I don't have guests, but I do want to acknowledge our Public Art Board. Members are in attendance this evening. So the ABC, as they call it, which is the Arts Builds Communities Grant, is awarded for the implementation of Public Art Board's Phase 2 for wrapping the utility boxes. This Phase 2 is in collaboration with Red Bank Middle and High School art instructors. This is for the ultimate selection of 4 winning designs, which will be installed of student art at 2 locations on Morrison Springs Road. One will be Signal Mountain Road at Baylor School Road, and the 4th, will be Denton Boulevard up at Browntown Road. Yes. The award itself is up to $2,500. We did receive a quote from Print Truth, who was our vendor on the first phase. It's a little bit higher. They'll have to do a little bit more work with the actual student art because it'll have to be professionally photographed for printing purposes. So that estimate is about $3,900. So the difference is roughly $1,400, and that will come from my operating budget.
Okay.
What was the other? You said at Baylor School, Signal Mountain Road at Baylor.
Yeah, Signal Mountain Road at Baylor, Dayton Boulevard up at Browntown,
Mhm.
and then there's 2 locations on Morrison Springs Road.
2.
Yeah, one is on they don't have addresses, it's hard to kind of tell you where they are.
Sure,
Both
they're
of
there.
them are obviously right there outside of the schools for,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
lovely.
Yeah,
That was special of its own.
That's wonderful.
with the 4 designs, could all 4 be middle school or 2 middle school and 2 high school, or is just the top 4 designs?
I don't know, it's a good question.
Okay.
We haven't looked at it yet.
She has her hand raised.
Our chairwoman of the art board.
Hello, Tess Ross, here from Public Work. So we will receive 4 designs from the middle school and 4 designs from the high school. And then the Public Art Board will review all of the 8 total designs to pick the top 4.
Okay.
Mhm.
So they could all end up being from the high school or the middle school.
Yeah,
Okay.
or 3 from, okay, all right, total of 4 out of 8.
We're hoping we'll have a good mix.
And this 2,500 is covering the cost of the installation.
That is, yes, that is the cost of the installation alone. That's
Okay.
specific to grant requirements, and the application itself is very specific. It doesn't, because there's other mechanisms that happen in the school system.
Sure.
But yes, this was awarded for the production and installation.
Okay. And we paid the artists for the last round, correct?
Correct.
But that's not happening for the students.
Correct.
Okay.
No, we are not reimbursing them.
Okay. And this will make 8 utility boxes that are covered. And how many do we have left?
I think there's
16 total.
16 total.
So
Yeah.
8 left?
We'll have it left.
Making moves. Okay.
So
This is very
anticipate
exciting.
more grant applications for
Absolutely.
installation. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I'm excited to just get this going, also to have art from our students in the community. That's just really cool. But also that one of them is going to be in North Red Bank. So.
Yeah, I think it's a great time. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes for that to happen.
Yeah.
When you are dealing with schools and curriculums and permissions, and so it can be a little bit complicated. And sometimes it's easy to say thanks but no thanks. But on these endeavors, we had some art teachers that were very big champions of this process. So we're very
Love that.
thankful for that.
Okay, wonderful. Any other questions or comments? All right. Thank you, Director Slay.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 7, accept the Community Cultural Connections Grant not to exceed $2,000, non-matching, resolution number 25-1836. Mr. Gravy.
Commission, good evening, and thank you for having me up here. At the last commission meeting, our fantastic program coordinator, Tegan Barber, came up here to be able to apply for the CCC Arts Build Grant, which we were promptly awarded. And so those funds are non-matching, and we did get awarded the $2,000 that we were asked for. That funding will be put into seniors programming over at our AOA programming to provide art classes and culminating in a seniors art gala in December. So we are very excited about that. And after we see how this goes, we will touch base with the Public Arts Advisory Board to get them wrapped into the Red Bank Arts Festival for next year, which, quick plug, the Red Bank Arts Festival, first ever, will be happening in September 27th at our community center.
Yes, very exciting. And this art gala is very exciting. All right, do we have any questions or comments about this amazing grant opportunity?
Big thank you to Artsville for both
Yes,
these grants.
very much. All right, I guess we'll move on to the next item. Number 8, award the contract for the Land and Water Conservation Fund, LWCF, conversion to Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc., with an unbudgeted expense of $69,015, resolution number 25-1837. Mr. Gravy.
Thank you, Mayor Dalton. So last month, I shared a presentation with the commission of the LWCF conversion, explaining how the city became out of compliance and the steps needed to regain eligibility for future grants. Tonight's resolution is that next step. We issued an RFP for site planning services, received 4 proposals, and had them reviewed by city staff and our Parks and Rec Advisory Board. We used a established rubric that came out to detail the project for the site planning, the LWCF conversion experience, and cost. Kimley Horn and Associates stood out for their detailed project approach and for having staff with direct LWCF conversion experience, which was a huge bonus on their end. This item was not included in the FY26 budget as it's progressed and forecasted timeline were uncertain during the initial planning phase. At the time, it appeared to be a multi-month process unlikely to reach the capitalization threshold within the FY26 budget year. Subsequently, the item was adopted as a commission goal for FY26, which expedited this timeline. After returning from paternity leave and with Tegan moving to full-time, I was able to focus all of my time on this conversion application, which allowed us to make strong progress over the last 3 months, which puts us in a place that we're ready to move forward on a streamlined timeline. It is imperative that we take advantage of this new recognized timeline in order to end more than a decade of non-action on this high-priority goal. Staff in the PRAB recommend awarding this contract to Kimley Horn in the amount of $69,015 plus a 10% contingency. The resolution authorizes the city manager to execute this agreement so we can complete the conversion and restore our eligibility for future state and federal recreation grant funding without prolonging the conversion and restored eligibility, getting that completed hopefully this fiscal year.
Excellent. Did you say how many submissions you received?
We received
in total?
4.
Oh, 4. Okay. And they were the least expensive, or how did that work?
They were not at the bottom least expensive. They were the second to least expensive.
Okay.
In what we received. And so we had one that was, I would say, a little more than double all the others, and then all the others fell within $1,000 or so of each other.
Okay. Okay.
In that realm. But the public, the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board and city staff going through the rubric found that Kimley Horn met the highest and best use for what we were looking at. while also not exceeding cost that should be in that realm.
Mhm. Excellent. And they have, you said somebody who's familiar with land conversions, who's done them before?
Yeah, so they have somebody on staff who has worked with municipalities through LWCF conversions. So that will be a very helpful thing. So as they're doing site planning with us, they know the rigorous regulations that go along with that and can help guide us through those portions. They also have great familiarity with our Parks and Recreation line items that we have as they helped us with our Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. And they will be using the small area study for the former Red Bank Middle School property as the foundation for what will proceed.
And they were the consultant on the parks master plan.
Correct.
Yeah. Any questions from anyone else? Comments?
Just excited to be making progress on this
Yes.
long-term goal.
I right before we came to commission, I got an email from TDEC, and they sent us the invoice for the $10,000. So we are ready to move on to the next step on that as well. I would say through this first phase, from the timeline that I shared with you last month, we are about 75% of the way complete with that to get ready to send the packet to TDEC, barring this site planning initiative and getting a few more environmental reviews back.
Are we still, and we're still waiting on like final reports on the appraisals that were being done on the properties?
Correct. An anticipated timeline for that will either be at the end of this week or beginning of next week for those Yellow Book appraisals, which will really put us in the knowing what we need to replace.
Right. I mean, we have to have those to help inform which parts of the properties may potentially have to be included.
Correct, because we will know the Yellow Book appraisals for the replacement properties, so that we'll know if we need to use one property, both, a mixture of that moving forward.
Very exciting. It's taken us 5 years to get here, so this is excellent news. Any other comments or questions?
So this company will
Sure.
recommend what to do based on what we already have plans or what we would like to do.
So a good way of looking at it is we have a blank canvas on the north end, the Hickson property, and then we have a good base design for the former Red Bank Middle School site. They're going to help us finish out those fine details of exactly what will be going where. So for example, they can say, this is where an amphitheater needs to go, and these are the pieces that need to go into it, or this is where the Ferris wheel should go, etc. Obviously, we won't have that, but I have Ferris wheels in the brain.
That's your fire chief saying, oh no.
So it'll get fine-tuned down to specific where everything's going to be. So it's going to take the small area study recommendations that are on there, and it's going to really get into the details, really deep down into the weeds of what everything is going to look like in a phased approach. With the opinions of cost, which will help us when our capital improvements plan is up and online for us to be able to figure out how all those things will be paid.
Because as soon as we have that signed by NPS, Department of the Interior, saying you're back in compliance, then we're immediately eligible, right? And competitive for those federal and state grants.
Correct.
Amazing. This
So
is great progress.
With the commission goal to create a new application that pushed our timeline up forward, and speaking with our city manager, we should be able to get that either at the end of this calendar year or at the beginning of next calendar year to get the application over to TDEC, which is very, very exciting.
Very exciting. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gravy. We'll move on to item 9. We have 2 public hearings scheduled. The first, amend Title 14, Chapter 1 of the Red Bank Municipal Code, ordinance number 25-1285. Director Slay.
Thank you. The ordinance before you tonight could best be described as a housekeeping effort. It does address Title 14 of the Red Bank Municipal Code as it relates to planning and zoning. 4 prior ordinances that this ordinance is actually codifying. They start back in 2001, which actually established the Municipal Planning Commission itself. Again, in 2001, they've identified the organization and more so the functions of the Planning Commission. Again, that was a lot of housekeeping efforts that were happening back at that time, which is why you had two separate ordinances. Third was in 2012. This established the numbers of the board members and the selection criteria. And finally, in 2021, this established the annual compensation of $300 for planning commission members annually. So again, this is really just some housekeeping to bring these ordinances into the municipal code where most people go to look for those types of actions. So again, some housekeeping efforts on our part.
Thank you for that, Director Slay. Just to clarify, that $300 is total for the whole year. They each get $25 a month
Correct.
to basically cover gas and such.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, item B, request to rezone Goodson Avenue parcel numbers, and I don't know how to say this properly. I'm so sorry. 126CE 031.01 and 126CE 027 from R1 to RTZ 0 lot line, ordinance number 25-1287, Director Slay, who does know how to say those numbers correctly.
Yes, I will script you so.
Okay,
for the next
thank
number,
you.
So don't leave you hanging like that. The rezonings before you, it's part of the staff's ongoing efforts to evaluate all city-owned parcels, to identify not only their current use, but determine what is the highest and best use, and then to take appropriate action for the best interest of the city. The two city-owned parcels that are located off Goodson Avenue have been evaluated as such, and staff's recommendation for the highest and best use of both parcels is for residential development and a return to the property tax roll. If you recall, back in August, we had a conversation of these, and one parcel, I think, was 2013 since it was on the tax roll, and the one prior to that was 97. So a significant amount of time. But we will pave our way forward. It was presented and recommended by the Planning Commission to rezone both parcels from R1 to RTZ. This is an effort to guide and encourage higher density residential development options on both parcels once they are sold. If you recall, again, on August 5th, your meeting then, we did review the ordinance for the disposition of property, and that was initiated in this process. So the rezoning before you tonight just starts that and establishes that we do want high density. Again, here's this schedule to be in compliant with your disposition ordinance. As part of the RFP, which I hope to have a draft for you in the next coming weeks prior to your next meeting, to discuss how do we want to sell those properties? Do we want to put conditions on it? Do we not want to put conditions? So that's something that we will continue to walk through. Again, the ordinance does dictate what that protocol looks like, so we bring it to you for authorization to release it, and then we'll start that journey and see how we get those properties developed.
Great, thank you. Any questions, comments? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 10, beer board meeting. Daniela Peterson of Trust for Public Land has applied for a special event beer permit for an event at White Oak Park on September 15, 2025. And Jeff Schwenke of Clever Ale House has applied for a special event beer permit for city-sponsored food truck Fridays. Do we need to go over any of that at this time, or can we just wait until the applicants are here?
I'll bet the applicants are here.
Okay.
To answer questions.
All right. Well, we'll move on to citizen comments on items on the work session agenda. Mr. Granum.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the time for citizen comments. Please observe these rules. Comments are limited to 2 minutes here in work session or less, and the city recorder will operate a timer. Please respect her direction and conclude any comments if time expires. Comments should be addressed to the board as a whole and not to a particular commissioner, the city staff, or the audience. The commission is here to listen, not to respond or engage in back and forth, so please do not expect a reply during citizen comment. At this time, citizens are invited to the podium. Please begin by stating your name and address.
All right. We don't have any citizen comments. We'll move on to our final item of business. Any other business to discuss? Does anyone have anyone they want to, or anything they want to bring up?
I was gonna say the applications still have Pete Phillips' name at the bottom as a commissioner.
The applications for.
For the beer
the
board,
board.
or the beer,
Oh.
beer board.
I'll take responsibility for that one. I will make sure that they are changed.
And then, I know it's ticky tack, but it's Fairbanks Harvey instead of Harvey Fairbanks. So.
I will take care of that.
It happens, yes. Thank you for bringing that up, Commissioner. All right, any other business? If not, we'll go ahead and adjourn and we'll return at 6 for our regular meeting.
My name was spelled with a Y.